right, so we are in Spain, and I'm not gonna lie, I did buy this bottle off of the label because I had not tried it before, but I had it on very good authority from both one of my importer friends and one of my distribution friends that it was very tasty, and I was not disappointed at all. So obviously this had to go in February. I'm sorry that it came a little bit later, but yeah, a really fun white. So the background on this is from Vinificate, or yeah, Vinificate, that's the name of the producer, which is in Cádiz, yep. And I believe it's just Palomino grapes, which is very traditional for the region. I think that's one of the grapes that normally goes into sherry. Yeah, I'm like 95% sure. And it's got, oh, actually, you know what? Now that I think about that, that makes this wine make a lot more sense. So with that in mind, it was like no skin contact or anything like that. It's just a white wine. So direct pressed. And I know that the vines were a bit older, like 40, 50 years-ish, I think. Unfined, unfiltered. And it's a little bit hazy, but not super hazy. And it does have a decent amount of color, which for 2019, I think it's probably mainly coming, well, I don't know enough about the Palomino grape to know how much that could be part of it, but I do think that probably the most of that color is coming from a mixture of that, as well as it having a few years on it. So with that, let's just go ahead and dive in. So the first thing I noticed about this wine is that it's like far more earthy and minerally than it is fruity, at least to start. Obviously there's, well, not obviously, but you'll see there is quite a bit of fruit in there. But it's almost like, it's like textural. It's a little difficult to describe. This is an area that's right by the sea. And so we'll see like a good amount of salinity with it, but honestly, almost even feels like a little bit like salty, sandy. It feels like, oh my God, you know exactly what it feels like, and maybe even tastes like, we haven't gotten there yet, is, well, if you're a guy, you're not gonna get this, but you know, like when you go swimming in the ocean and you have like the ocean in your hair and you like flip around and it smacks you, like it kind of smells and tastes a little bit like how that would feel. That's very visual, but not typical from most of the wines that we put in here, and I think that that's really fun. Yeah, it's just earthy. So now let's go to the bottom. So it certainly has citrus, but it's like less zesty and more like a Meyer lemon or like a candied lemon. Definitely lemon, so like a lot of lemons. There's a lot in there. I think also tropical fruits, but less so. Like the lemon is certainly at the forefront, but behind it, you could say a little bit like pineapple, apricot. Apricot would be stone fruit technically, but as well. Star fruit. There's a lot there. It's really unique. I love the like combination of this. I think that it's really typical. Everything I just said in the second part, I feel like I say about a lot of wines, but the first part, the things I think that you get initially off the bat, especially at the top, is what really makes this wine more unique. So let's try it. All right. So it is less on the palate, like a smack in the face from the ocean, which I think is probably for the best. There is still a saline aspect to it, but it is definitely overtaken by the fruitiness here. And while the lemons are like the main star of the show on the nose, I think that the tropical fruit is coming more forward on the palate. And it's super tasty and fresher than what I would have initially, well, not fresher, fresh, less, I don't know, yeah, like less sea-like and more just like fresh fruit on the palate than what I was initially expecting based on the nose. So really like interesting, kind of like diverse different things going on with both. So because I love the way it smells, but I also love the way it tastes. I think that it is, and it's funny now that I've tasted it, I already tasted it, but now that I've really dissected it and tasted it and came back to it, I'm getting more fruit. So I think that's kind of also how it works. Like I have it in my mouth right now. I'm going back to smell it, and I'm just getting more of it. So let's talk about body. All right, so acid's pretty high, quite high actually. It's medium bodied, but really more on the light side. And I love the idea of having this with seafood, which will surprise no one, considering I just said it felt like a slap in the face, basically, with your hair from the sea, or just from the sea, I guess. So I think fish could be great for this. I think that you could do, you know, poultry if you really want to, but like oysters would be interesting with this one. This is not your stereotypical oyster wine by any means, but that nose I feel like would just be so nice with like the brininess that you'll get from oysters if you're into like shellfish. That could be really nice. Or like, what's it, like pasta fra diavola, whatever, like that like spicy pasta that has a lot of seafood in it. That would be absolutely like perfection with this. So very specific, but I think that you have clearly a very good path of what you can do with this. And yeah, Valentine's Day oysters could be perfect. Enjoy.